You guys, I am so glad you were willing to stop with me here today. This is such a cool place, and there's so much history that we find here by Tinker's Creek. In fact, right here there used to be a bridge many years ago, and they would come across here with their hay and their straw and be pulling it with a horse and a wagon to bring it to get processed here down the road.
As we're continuing to learn about the history of this area, we're actually standing right where the grist mill was, where those carts and horses would bring over the grain, and they would take it right here and crush it and process it into flour and the grains that'd be used from that wheat.
To make bread, right?
Bread, that's right.
Awesome.
In order to power the grist mill, they would have needed a huge source of power. They would have used this huge waterfall as that source of power. There's a lot of water generating a lot of energy, which would have been just enough to crush all of the grain into flour.
You know, the Bible has a lot of history of what God has done since the beginning of time. In Hebrews 11, we see a snapshot of what God accomplished through people because of their faith in Him. For example, Noah spent over 100 years building an ark when it had never rained. Then Moses led his people through the middle of the Red Sea, right before it came crashing back in on the Egyptian army. Joseph, even after he had been sold by his brothers, displayed what real forgiveness should look like. And this list could go on and on. But each and every one of these people had a deep faith in God. Hebrews 11:6 says, "And without faith, it is impossible to please Him." And I would hope if we've given our lives to Jesus, our main desire would be to walk in the footsteps of Jesus by obeying Him. I wonder, what will people say about us when our life is done here on this earth? Would people look at us and remember us for our strong faith in God? I sure hope so. But the key for you and me is found in Hebrews 12:2. Fix your eyes on Jesus. We now have His example to follow. Let's make sure we're writing some history with our lives as we stay focused on Jesus and what really matters in life.